everything's all right then?
Yeah, they've taken cover of the bathroom. They're good.
That's a hell of a shot right there. Just the car right in front.
It was actually up.
Come on to staging.
It's nothing. Car.
You guys have the whole photo set too, and I can email it again too.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like, in?
Yeah.
Isn't that beautiful? Good looking kid. I almost forgot. And everything. It's what? It's like 20 till 3, right?
Okay. Just obviously I know your name, but just so we have it here on tape, can you say it's got your name for it?
Yeah, it's Tracy Pressler, TracyPresslor.
And we're talking about.
My nephew, Will Norton.
Tell me about the last that you know about. He was coming home from graduation, correct?
Right. He was actually in his H3 driving home from graduation that was held at the university, and he was driving. My brother was in the passenger seat. My sister-in-law and my niece were in the car in front of them. They'd just gotten home, and they were less than probably half a mile from the house when my brother was on the phone with my niece, and they were talking, and he saw the tornado, and he said, we've got to get out of here. We'll, pull over. And they tried to do that, and the tornado basically just grabbed them and took them into the air. My brother was conscious through the whole thing, and so was my nephew. And my brother reached over and grabbed my nephew to hold him. They both had their seatbelts on, and he reached over and he grabbed my nephew and was holding on to him. And I found out that Will started quoting scripture immediately and just kept saying verses and verses, and the tornado literally pulled him through the sunroof while my brother had a hold of him.
Well, tell me a little bit about the scripture that he was saying.
Well, I don't know. Mark hasn't said which ones they were. He just kept saying all the way. He remembers him saying it until he went through the sunroof. So
Now, everybody else in the car?
there was just my brother and my nephew, and they ended up having to cut my brother the door off the car. And he's got some pretty extensive injuries. His brain is fine. He's very coherent, and he remembers absolutely everything. But it's going to take him a long time. He's stable, and we're blessed because a lot of people don't have that luxury with their family members. So we're very thankful for that. We just can't find Will. We've called all the hospitals, and we've gotten a lot of leads and a lot of people are really trying to help, and I'm so thankful that they are, but it's getting so overwhelming with us right now since we can't find him that we're just really pretty devastated. We get excited about a lead, and then we can't find him. We've checked the morgues, and so far we don't believe he's in any of the morgues. I don't know what else to tell you. And then we really kind of think that he's maybe still out there, and people are checking debris for everyone. But we're concerned with the vortex of this tornado that it really could have taken him much higher and much further. And so I'm really asking people everywhere from Joplin on towards Springfield, Nevada, wherever, they need to check their fields. Farmers need to check their fields. People need to look in trees. Get on their ATVs and just make sure, not just for my nephew, but there's a lot of people missing. There's a lot of people that are looking for their loved ones. I don't know what the count is now. It was 1,500 that were still unaccounted for. And there are John Does and Jane Does in hospitals. I know that there are. The hospitals are being overwhelmed with people calling. And whenever we find out with the new, the HIPAA laws, you can't really tell a lot. So when we find out something, we're writing it down and we're trying to keep track of it. And I'm trying to watch. And when we know that someone's missing, if we see a connection, if I have any way of getting a hold of somebody, we will try to tell them, because we know families are going through what we're going through right now. And that's not good for anyone. So again, it's not just about my nephew who we love and miss, but we're also praying for all the other people and the people that have lost their homes, businesses, everything.
Now, there's been a tremendous outpouring of support, especially on Facebook.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
I read it at night when I have time, and I just cry because I can't believe all these people are praying, which we're so grateful for Will and everybody else, because I feel like I love all these people, like they're part of our family, and it's really heartbreaking and heartwarming at the same time. One, that we have to do it this way, and two, that there are people that really care, and I know they care, and I'm so thankful. But it gets to where I don't get very many hours of sleep, and our family doesn't, and we just, literally, I read it and I don't want to put it down. My cousin Keith helped set up the Facebook. I have a friend that I went to school with, Felicia McBee Morley, and she actually, she set up that site. Keith started the news for us. We have all these people. My cousins have taken off work, from doctors in D.C. to St. Louis, North Kansas City, Gallatin. They've taken off, Texas. We have so many people that have literally put their lives on hold to help us find Will and these other people. We're a pretty loving, giving family, and I'm so thankful for all of us that are still here, because we're tough and we've got hope, and I want everybody else to have hope. A lot of hope. Don't ever give up hope. Not till we have him, and hopefully we will recover. Hopefully we will find him, and it won't be a recovery type of thing. But even if it's a recovery, we just want him home. That's all. We just want him home so we can have closure and move on. So thank you.
Thank you. Lastly, can you say your age and occupation for me?
I'm 45, and I'm the travel services manager for Leggett & Platt.
And what intersection or area of road was Will on when this happened?
He was approximately at 32nd and Schifferdecker. He was actually probably about 30th, right at the subdivision of Sunset Ridge. And actually the door of the car is still there.
It's still there?
The car door that they pulled off, that we didn't have that removed. The car's removed.
The sunroof was open while they were driving, or no?
We don't believe so. No, because it was raining. It was closed. So, it was a forceful thing. And it's a good thing that my brother grabbed him and pulled him down, because that side of the car is crushed. There were huge steel I-beams, which are also still at the location. And those, my brother remembers those wrapping around the car. And the car had that red steel all over the sides of it and the top of it and everything. And the car was actually on one of those I-beams when we found it. That he was missing. When Sarah called us, we were in a storm shelter right after graduation. We were all going to the party at 6 o'clock, and those sirens were going off. So everybody kind of spread, went different directions to their homes to try to get into shelter. And the other people were still at the university. And there were a lot of people at the university. And so Sarah called us when she got off the phone, when the phone went dead, with my brother, and she said, I think my dad and Will are in the tornado. And she said, we don't know where they are. Can you find them? So I was with my mom and dad, my husband, and our children. And my husband and I immediately said, we're going. And so we got in our car and took off, and we started trying to go the route. And we went, and one of our businesses was damaged, heavily damaged. So we saw it on the way. And then we kept going on the route, and it took us quite a while to find the car. And it was actually on Schifferdecker, and they weren't letting anybody drive down Schifferdecker. And we just insisted. And so
Where's the car now?
We actually had it towed, and it's secured. So we drove down, and as soon as it was the only car that was there, and it was horrible. And I was trying to get out of the car to get to the car before my husband even stopped. I just wanted out of our car to go see. And my husband, Jeff, said, you've got to stay in the car. And he told my oldest son, he says, you stay, because he went with us. My 15-year-old son, Matthew, went with us. And they said, you stay in the car. And they went over there to look, because we thought they would probably have been in the car. And they were not. And, there was blood. Not huge amounts, which gave us hope. But a lot of it, we think, was because my brother had a really bad head injury. He has, like 22 staples in his scalp and everything. But so we found the car, and we immediately started hollering for them. and trying to find a flashlight in the car. And I ran several blocks to some EMTs I saw and just told them that I needed them to help me. I need to find my brother, my nephew. And they said, well, they're already gone. If they're gone, they'd be at Freeman. So we kept looking, and then we got in the car and we went to the house, the home base, which is my brother's and sister-in-law's house, to talk to the family there and tell them we need to get to Freeman Hospital and see if we could find him. And everyone here, my brother is actually in the hospital. Yeah, and he'll be here for, I'm going to guess, quite a while. He's only been able to have one of his surgeries. His left leg, the lower left leg, I think a tibia, it was compound fracture, so he had bones sticking out both sides, as well as it's split down the center. So his leg is in really bad shape. And then his bicep, his right bicep where he was holding my nephew, he had his arms wrapped around him because my nephew bent over and he had a hold of him like this. And so when Will was pulled out, my brother still was trying to hold on to him. So it ripped his entire right bicep muscle, everything apart. And they haven't had surgery on that yet. His spine is compressed and he has broken ribs, but he's stable. And again, like I'm saying, stable is huge right now. I mean, he has infections, so he runs a fever. So we're praying for Mark on that, but he's very coherent and he talks to us about it whenever he can. He's just exhausted because, like everybody, he's not sleeping and he's in serious, serious pain. But that's okay. He's tough and he'll recover. You flew in from Cincinnati.
So I did an eye report on Monday morning after the tornado, and published details of what had happened, published photos of Will, and started asking for people to send us details if they had it, and to call us with any information. And then I contacted some additional people that I knew inside of CNN to get some visibility. They wound up picking up the eye report. Anderson Cooper's producers called on Monday afternoon and asked for an interview, and so Anderson flew in Monday afternoon. They did an interview Monday evening with Tracy and Sarah Monday evening.
Yeah.